The war in Ukraine is widely considered the first high-tech conflict of the 21st century. It's a battlefield defined by cutting-edge FPV drones, sophisticated air defense networks, and precision-guided munitions. We are told that in this new era, there is nowhere to hide. Satellite imagery can spot a cigarette from space. Thermal sensors can track the heat of a single soldier's breath. Yet, one of the most effective tools isn't a laser-guided missile. It's not an AI-driven robot. It's a balloon. We're talking about decoys, inflatable, dummy weapons. So simple that a general from World War II would instantly recognize them. But these toys are doing something billion-dollar systems cannot. They are bankrupting the Russian military's momentum, one wasted missile at a time. This is a stupidly simple tactic. Ukraine is using it to humiliate the Russian army. And a man who built bouncy castles became an architect of defense. To understand why this works, we have to look back. Deception is as old as war itself. But the inflatable revolution truly began in 1944. During Operation Fortitude, the Allies deployed the Ghost Army. They used inflatable tanks and dummy aircraft to trick Nazi Germany into believing D-Day would happen at Pas-de-Calais. Back then, decoys only had to fool a human looking through binoculars or a pilot flying thousands of feet overhead. You'd think that in an age where every soldier has a 4K drone, these fakes would become obsolete. You'd think more visibility would make them easier to see through. Surprisingly, the opposite is true. Modern drone technology hasn't killed the decoy, it has made it more powerful. Because when you see everything, you have to decide on everything. And that is where the psychological trap is set. The man behind this resurgence is Victor Talon. Before the full-scale invasion, Talon didn't work for a defense contractor like Lockheed Martin or Raytheon. His expertise was in inflatable sports equipment, hot air balloons, and bouncy castles for kids' parties. But when the war began, the skill set translated perfectly. A tank is essentially just a complex shape. If you can build a bouncy castle that looks like a dragon, you can build a replica of a Soviet-era T-72 or Western M1 Abrams. But these aren't just balloons. The engineering is surprisingly sophisticated. Ukraine's decoys include built-in heat sources. Why? Because Russian drone operators use thermal imaging. A cold balloon stands out like a sore thumb on a thermal scope. So, Talon's team adds internal heaters that mimic the heat signature of a running engine. They are even working on exhaust simulators, smoke generators that puff out a haze to mimic a diesel engine idling. To a Russian radar system, some of these decoys even emit false radio signals. The only way to tell it's a fake is to walk up and touch it. And the Ukrainian military is making sure no Russian soldier gets that close. The real genius of this strategy is the economics. In modern warfare, the cost-to-kill ratio is everything. A real M1 Abrams tank costs between $9 million and $13 million. A HIMARS launcher or an M270 rocket system costs millions more. One of Victor Talon's inflatable decoys. It costs roughly $1,000. Think about the math of a Russian strike. When a Russian Lancet drone hits an inflatable tank. Russia loses $35,000 and Ukraine loses $1,000. That's a 35-to-1 win for Ukraine's budget. If Russia uses a high-precision cruise missile, the ratio becomes even more absurd, spending millions to destroy $1,000 of rubber. Russia is taking the bait, repeatedly. We've seen drone footage released by Russian state media claiming major battlefield successes. They show high-definition videos of Ukrainian equipment exploding. But look closer. The debris doesn't look like twisted steel. It looks like shredded fabric. The damage patterns are too perfect. Russia often realizes they've hit a decoy after the fact. But for propaganda, they report it as a victory anyway. Meanwhile, the real Ukrainian tanks are miles away, safe and ready to strike. Beyond the money, there is the tax on the human mind. Every second a Russian drone operator spends looking at a target is a second they aren't looking for a real one. When an operator spots a tank, they face a dilemma. Is this real? If they fire and it's a decoy, they've wasted ammunition and revealed their position. If they don't fire and it's real, that tank might kill their comrades. That hesitation, that doubt disrupts what military analysts call the operational tempo. Every minute of uncertainty adds up. Across an 800-mile front line, those minutes turn into hours, and those hours turn into lost momentum. By constantly moving these decoys, repositioning them just like real units, Ukraine forces Russian intelligence to track ghosts. It's a shell game played with lives and millions of dollars. Decoys are just one part of a broader low-tech toolkit. This toolkit is systematically draining Russia's resources. Take the fishing net strategy. It sounds like a comedy sketch, but it's one of the most effective defenses against fiber optic drones. You can't stop them with electronic warfare, but you can stop them with a $50 fishing net strung between two trees. The drone gets tangled, the cable snaps, and a multi-thousand-dollar weapon is neutralized by something from a sporting goods store. We've seen Russian strategic bombers covered in old tires to prevent drone strikes. When the tires proved too heavy or ineffective, they actually started painting tires onto the wings of the aircraft. It's a sign of desperation, but it's also a response to the way AI works. Machine learning systems are trained to recognize the silhouette of a plane. If you paint black circles, you break that silhouette. The AI might not recognize the plane as a target. In this war, the stupid solution is often the one that actually works. While Russia is wasting its ammunition on rubber tanks, Ukraine is using its actual resources to strike where it hurts, the economy. As of late 2025, Ukrainian drone operations have caused an 18% drop in Russia's oil processing capability. For a country that relies on oil and gas for 40% of its government revenue, a 20% hit to that sector is a slow-motion catastrophe. Russia is running out of people, too. By January 2026, Russia had to officially move to year-round conscription. They have suffered an estimated 1.2 million casualties. They are struggling to train enough soldiers to offset the losses. This is why we see stagnating numbers on the front line. Russia simply doesn't have the manpower to make a breakthrough, and every time they try, they find themselves shooting at balloons. Ukraine isn't winning through raw military power. They are winning by being smarter, faster, and more adaptable. They have turned the economics of war upside down. The lesson for the future of warfare is profound. It doesn't matter if you have the most advanced AI in the world, if your opponent has enough fishing nets and rubber to make your AI useless. In the 21st century, the greatest superpower isn't the one with the biggest budget, it's the one with the most imagination. Thanks for watching.